Hi everyone. Right, it's an update. Been fairly quiet, as you probably realise, after the Kickstarter. So I have an arrest, etc., etc., because it was kind of hectic, as you probably imagine. But the money finally arrived today. And some of you think, what, really? Yeah, it takes 2 or 3 weeks to process and go through. So the money's arrived today. Today's the start of everything. My updates, I'll probably do an update every week to let you know how it's going on, but yeah, I just wanted you to know that everything's now fine, and we're getting started. So the first job is I'm going to go and visit the tool makers November the 2nd. So after that meeting, there'll be probably another week. I've got to do some tweaks to the design, some final tweaks before we get that into them. Just and make another prototype. Remember, I only had one front panel. It's time now to go and discuss with them any final changes that they recommend. Go and make the changes, and then do a test print of all the components, including the DVD. Thanks very much for upping it. So we're going to get that DVD. Supply of the DVDs is looking like a bit of a problem at the moment, and I may have to buy a bunch. So they may be maybe a limited stock, but I'll give you more information about that. We've got people scouring trying to get them. So if you know of any, if you know where they are, if you can, but make sure you buy the right one. Get the right one. In fact, I might put a link in the description. Do bear in mind, of course, if everyone goes out and buys them, and then I buy a couple of hundred, the last stock, and I'm stuck with them. Oh God! But we're working on the best way of doing that, so everyone gets one of these. So we're going to go see Toolmakers on the 2nd of November, and as I said, we'll make another prototype front as a final prototype, and testing all the front panels, make all new ones. I'll probably do a video once I've seen them, and I'll have a chat about what happened, and then we'll do the prototypes and we'll have a chat, that kind of thing, an update. So if you're watching this through Kickstarter, I will put these videos updates up there, obviously, because that site is very, very important. But if you are on Facebook and you want to join the group, you will get more of a discussion, and there's a bit more information. I understand some people don't like Facebook. To be honest, if it wasn't for the fact of these little projects, I might have even moved off of it myself. So I'm kind of understand. But it's a tool we use. If you're watching this on my Patreons, just to let you know, the keyboard, the new keyboard case, the changes are with Barry Henderson's. I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet. I've been busy, and so has he. So probably end up doing that on Monday. Get another prototype made. Now, once that prototype is checked out, okay. It's going to be ready for manufacture, and then I need people to commit. If you want to get them, I will continue to make them, so it's not a big issue. My only concern is that I obviously now I know some people will say, well, you've got the money from the Kickstarter to do this, but that's to make cases to supply the Kickstarter. So I'm not using that money for anything else but that. So but my Patreon backers have been very good, and so I probably will be on. It'll be a PayPal thing. Once it's done and it's ready to go, I want to find out. Now I know there's about 120 people. I think it's 110, 120 people. I will go through the final thing later on, because now there may actually be even more interest in this, because as some of you know, Kipper 2K has got a really cool membrane. I've had a really long chat with him, and I think that's going to be quite very important. Very important in my opinion. Some of you may be aware. My opinion has always been, get a mechanical keyboard, stick the Amiga keys on it, and away you go. Now, sadly, I've actually got a complete keyboard key set that's ready to go on my cheap mechanical keyboard, and that's going to be, I think, still a very viable proposition. The caps are going to be quite expensive, and see if I can get a better price. So there may be we'll do the PC converted version, but as far as Kipper 2K's one, I think that's going to be a great little product. Maybe a little bit more expensive, but generally a good thing. So anyway, I'm back on the keyboard case. Another reason to get the keyboard case, because you'll be able to put that in there, which is brilliant. Possibly not even needing the keyrar, so that's all really good. No, you won't need the keyrar. But we'll update you more on that as we go along. You can see the two cases below me here. This is the original one, and that over there is the new one. Now that's the buggered up one with the cursor keys too low, and I frigged that picture. But yeah, so that new case will be coming. Now I will keep you updated as we go along. So if you've got any more questions, but as I say, if you're on Facebook, join the Facebook group. If you are on Patreon, just keep on there. I suppose, well, Kickstarter, of course, I'm going to update everyone there as well. Let's talk about Patreon. No, I still think it's a great thing if you want. Now, I know some people do $5. As I've always said to everyone, $1. If you go on there, do $1. It really helps. And then I don't want, as I've just mentioned, I am not siphoning money from the 1500 case Kickstarter campaign to fund anything else. Okay, now hopefully there'll be a profit at the end of it. If there's a profit at the end of it, yeah, that money's going to go into other things. Maybe take the wife on holiday, maybe design something new. I've got other things I'd like to do, but this case is a long-term thing. But by being a Patreon, you are really helping. You'll notice I originally set the goal to 400, then I realised, of course, in a couple of months, and it's so I'm on the second prototype. So that money coming in is paying for that. There's lots of other things we're working on. So if you do want to get on there and support me via Patreon, trust me, it's really going to help for the future. I mean, please, $1 enough. If you want to do more, I will say though that if you're paying more, my plan is, and I think I mentioned this before, but when it comes to, forget the case is what it is. It's paid, bang. But there'll be options, and on the options, there's a reasonable profit margin on them. Of that profit margin, a proportion of that profit margin is going to be what I call my Kickstarter, my Patreon backer discount. Now, to be blunt, I'll be offering a discount as well. If you're a Kickstarter, you'll be well, that price isn't going to be ridiculous anyway, but the reason I'm going to do the Kickstarter discount scheme, and I have mentioned this, not Kickstarter, Patreon discount scheme. Now the reason for this is a lot of people have been putting $1, $2, $5, and they're getting nothing for it apart from supporting me. So I'm going to be doing it, as I said, a Patreon discount. Now, what way it will work out, there'll be a certain percentage of an item, and so when you obviously that percentage comes into a monetary value, and every single option you buy, it will depend on each one. If the higher the profit margin, the more I'll offer. Now, at the end of the order, when you place your order, there'll be a amount, which is how much the Kickstarter, I can't stop saying Kickstarter, how much the Patreon discount is worth. Now, I'm not sure the actual mechanics of this yet. It's probably quite manual. So you put your order in there, and then what we'll do is we'll look at your account. Well, all we have to do is just go to the Patreon. I look at your name on the Patreon, and then I see how much you've paid. Up to that Patreon discount value, as I just explained, you'll get up to that amount discounted. Now, what at the moment that's going to be is basically, so then we'll mark that, and then you'll have used that amount. So basically, we'll give back what you paid. Long term, we may improve on this, so you can do multiple orders. I don't know yet. It depends how things go, because we're just starting this up. But basically what I want people to know is if you put money into that and you buy something, you're going to be I'm treating that as money towards an order. So, I'm not guaranteeing it. It's not like you're going to get it back if you don't buy anything. It just means that, so that if you put money into this project and you want to buy something, that you can get some money back. I think that's a fair way of doing it. The Kickstarter people have obviously paid for the case, and they're getting etc. But my Patreon backers are very important because they're just putting money in with not expecting anything, and it means a lot. So again, that more details on that will be coming, especially once I open up the options page. Now, going forward, I can't give you dates yet because I'm still working on the dates, but at a certain point, probably a month before ship date, maybe 2 months to give people time, I'll open up my website's the ordering system, and then what you'll basically do is you will be able to assuming please use the same email account to set the account up, etc., that you've got your Patreon Kickstarter. And then we'll mark, if you backed one, it'll be marked as 1, 2, and so on. Okay. And then you'll be able to go in there and maybe change your configuration. I don't want a black one, I want a white one, or I don't want a white one, I want a black one. That's fine. I want an extra back panel. You can add that into the order. I want the DVD play. It's very important. Even though I know the Kickstarter was to raise the money for the tool, it's not paid, so you will have to pay the extra £5, but it doesn't mean you're not paying £30. Okay, so you still have to pay the £5 for that, but it's a damn sight cheaper. That will then, and there'll be other bits. Of course, there'll be drives. The DVD drives. I'm just doing some final tests to make sure it's all working okay. Once that's all approved, then you'll be able to buy the slot loading DVD drives, and there'll be a lot of options on there, bits and pieces you want to put in the order. And then there'll be, tons of stuff about that. So you can get your order sorted out, any extra to pay, and add the shipping, of course. And we'll get that all sorted out. And then obviously, once that's done in time, then once everything comes in, we start assembling. We'll start going through from Kickstarter back at number 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, it'll be in batches 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, and we'll start rolling them out. Now, you're going to probably find that people will get them, start writing about them, you may be at the end of the list, it might be a delay. I'm expecting it to take probably a month from start to finish, okay? And please accept that's just the fact that that's, we're going to be working hard on this, but if we can do it quicker, we will. Just bear with us, it's going to take about a month. And as I promised, no dealers are being supplied, but there are a couple of backers that bought multiples. One backer bought 10. He may be a dealer. I appreciate his order, I truly do. If he's a dealer and you see a dealer, as I said before, and it comes up, buy it now. And it's because no one, unless they've ordered from the Kickstarter, nobody is getting them until after I've shipped these Kickstarter backers, which makes life a lot easier for me, and then stops people being upset for obvious reasons. So but that batch is kind of some kind of different, so some people may be selling them off, and which funds their hobby, but do bear in mind, I think that one was right at the end of the list, and he'll be getting it right at the end of the list, and as much as possible I'm going to do it in order. I suppose another thing at some point, the Raspberry Pi co-processor business, I will try, and I just had no time trying to balance so many things here, obviously. So I think that's okay. Main thing is, the main message obviously is that I've now finally today is the 19th of October, so 17 days, that was alright, wasn't it? 2.5 weeks, money's arrived, and it's been stored away. not a Swiss bank account obviously, but it's been stored away in a separate account, and then we'll start getting all these bits done. And I'll come back to you probably on the 3rd of November, 4th of November, once I've been to see the tool makers. As I said, we'll do some tweaks to the design, then make another prototype. Take a couple of weeks to get that in, test that all out, make sure it's okay. I have to go and visit Barry about the actual case changes, because there are case changes, slight extension to the back to make it a bit there's a few little tweaks, probably going to make it slightly higher, going to make almost identical length and height of the 3000, because I noticed the height slightly off and the back slightly, so we're going to get that in par. It is still about 2 inches wider. That's because of the 5 1/4 drive bays, but that also means for the PC guys, it gives them a little bit more room. This is all from experience from building these machines and tearing them apart. One other thing, I think one I am going to do, another that I'm hoping to do, but I'll discuss it with you now. So the first thing we're going to be doing, it's going to be a nice, I'm working on a spiral bound manual for this thing. It will be online videos, and there'll be, I'll put it all up online, but I like the idea of a manual now. I don't know how many pages, between 50 and 100 pages, something like that. I've priced it all up, and because we did quite well on the Kickstarter, I've got a little bit to play with, and they're not that expensive, and I can put them in. And so that's I want to put a little manual in there, and it's so people can, and nicely designing. Paul's going to help me with this. Yeah, Paul does great design work. Something else though. Now this is a question. We didn't quite make enough for me to do. I suppose I could have done I could have done a stretch goal for this, but I may have mentioned this in the past, but I want to do a nice cover for the box. And so what we're doing is I've again engaged Paul's services to design a wrap to go around the box. Now, some people have said to me, don't need it. Fair enough. Some people have said that'd be fantastic, but it's not going to be cheap. Now I will be honest, this will be an optional extra. I don't know how much, whatever it costs to make this thing now. So because there's not only, I suppose, we've got the box will be the same, then it's more likely going to be a slide on, like the old days, a slide over, and just to make it look really nice, and it'll be really, and Paul's designing the cover, so it's going to be really nicely designed. It's not really meant for going in a shop or anything. I'm not expecting shop stuff, but it's just really so that when you get it, you have the unboxing experience. Now, I probably more than likely definitely will charge for the sleeve, not only because of the sleeve, but because I have to put the box inside another box to protect the sleeve. So I don't know yet, maybe a tenner, something like that. And I know if everyone wanted it, but it's not. I have to be careful on the budget I've got, because I've really been specific about what we're doing for this budget, and I'm delivering you the 1500 case, well packaged. Trust me, well packaged. But I'm trying to put some options in there for people, and I think that this box will be quite nice, and it will be also very good for when it comes to the PC side. When I send it out for reviews, for them to get it in a nice package. So it helps me. And if you do want one of them, I'm sure the question will come, can you make it only for Kickstarter backers? Probably not. But what we might be able to do is to do like two designs, like make say two designs, like Kickstarter backer something, or even if it's just a sticker or something goes on there to say you're a Kickstarter backer, because this question has been asked, and I do want to try and do something like that for this first batch, because I'm differentiating. So anyway, there's the update. So the good news is it's actually happening. Well, we knew that, but it's actually, now I've got the cash, I can actually start getting things ordered. I've got to get Rob to make me another prototype. There's a few things I've just been waiting for the money, because I've had enough spending my own money on this. So that'll be good, and we'll get all the circuit boards. The new circuit boards are in, and as the news comes along, and as you know, the usual thing, I'll go through and I will talk you through the process and show you the progress. And I'll try and do these updates on Kickstarter weekly. May not be, maybe every couple of weeks, but as something interesting comes along, I'll do it. But as you know, as I said, if you're on Facebook, go on Facebook, because it's with the proviso, I know some people don't like Facebook, but if you join the group, there's a lively discussion on there, and you know, it's actually getting quite good now, because other people are posting questions. I am specific about what I will allow go through, and basically it's got to be a question or criticism. Now, you know, if someone comes up and says you're an idiot, I might not put that through, but if it's like, well, I don't like the way you've done something, yeah, fine, I'll post that, that's fine, and we'll discuss it and maybe make changes. I'm all for that. So you know, let's see how that goes, but it's worth being on that. Now, that's a Checkmate 1500 plus case group. If you join that group, it's probably worth it. And again, if you want to be on a Patreon, then remember I said $1 a month. Get on that Patreon, because it does really help. And I'm not taking, as I said, I'm not taking money out of the Kickstarter campaign funds. That is staying there, so I'm not doing anything extra with that money. But anyway, there you go, an update. Finally, this has probably turned into a long video again, but finally, once again, I want to thank you all for believing in this project, backing it, because at the end of the day, I couldn't have done it without the Kickstarter backers, and you guys are crazy, but you know, I'm doing my best, going to make sure we get this out. The aim is not to be late. I'll put it that way. We do not intend being late, but again, I'll give you an update as we go along where we are. But again, thanks very much, and I will speak to you soon, if I can turn this off.